Let's have a coffee together and talk about your twin flame journey. Hi everyone, this is Judith. Very warm welcome to the channel. Welcome in. Yeah, and let's just fill up with some coffee or with something else, water, what you prefer, a cup of tea in the afternoon. Because today it's all about filling the void, right? So we just see that our twin flame is not with us, right? Twin flame is running, twin flame is somewhere else, and now or you are probably in that phase of like interpreting. What does that mean? Did that mean what he texted me? Does this mean he's coming around sometime soon, or does this mean he loves me? Does this mean he doesn't love me? Is there someone else in the picture? So a lot of things that we're like trying to find out everything about this other person, right? What did he mean by that? And we also try to find out by, for example, watching card readings or even getting a reading and pay for a reading, something like that. And then we want to find out what are this person's true feelings. So, and I want to help you today to wrap your mind around this a little bit and gain some clarity, right? So yeah, I put this to the side, but you can go on, right? Drinking your coffee. Yeah, what is this all about? Where is he, and why is he not showing up? And why do all those card readings and stuff not help, really, right? You can like wait forever if you rely on card readings predicting that in 6 months, 6 weeks to 6 months, everything is changing or something significant happening between 3 days and 3 weeks or whatever. Not telling that significant things cannot happen, not saying that this is like has nothing to do with astrology, but astrology, those things are just, but that's maybe for another video, but it's just supporting or not supporting you at times, but really what's going on between you, you can only like find out by listening to teachers like me who tell you the truth of this specific connection, and of course by doing the inner work and finding out on your own, right? Everybody on the twin flame journey is basically on the way to becoming a spiritual master, so you can also observe yourself and just draw conclusions. So yeah, and what is this all about, right? You're like, what is he doing while you are drinking your coffee, and then what is your twin flame doing? Well, yeah, he's out in the world trying to fill that void. Yeah. So both of you have an emptiness inside of you, very painful emptiness. And both of you have experienced like this emptiness, like being filled with love when you met each other. And that's because you were like seeing your light in the other person, and vice versa, right? Your counterpart was also seeing his light. And then he could not believe that this has anything to do whatsoever with him. And it was even maybe dangerous because he, I don't know what, they're twin flames, they're twins that are running, they are solo, but they are then just maybe going into another relationship. Some twins, they have family and commitments, but in any case, your twin flame has a whole life, probably, right? Your twin flame has established something in the 3D that gives him kind of security, a sense of stability, and even if this is like not in alignment really with his true essence and what he really deserves and what he truly wants in life, it's still there, and it's familiar, right? And he that doesn't want to leave all of this behind just because of some airy fairy stuff like a twin flame relationship. What's that after all, right? So still when he turns around, and basically both of you then are confronted with your shadow, and both of you are like mirroring the shadow, right? So you are confronted with this painful void, that there is something missing, right? There is something missing. And your twin flame is kind of defending himself. Somebody wants to take something from him, or wants to give him something that he doesn't want. So because it's threatening what all the everything that he has built around this void, to cover up the void basically. And he doesn't want this to crumble. He doesn't want this to be torn apart, because he will be left with his shadow to look at, right? That's really not a very easy decision to make, right? Whereas you are already left with nothing but your void to look at, right? And so you are the one who starts to look at all the things, who's starting the process, who's starting the inner work. If you don't know how to do this, you find my office in the description box. And yeah, if you have questions or want to know about certain things, put them in the comments. I will certainly reply to those, either directly in the comment section, or I would maybe make another video. So if you have questions also around my work or what to expect, don't hesitate to get in touch. Or you could also book a 15-minute free spot to get clear a little bit where you are at on your journey, and whether it would be a fit or whether it would make sense at all to work with me, right? So yeah, that's not so easy for your divine counterpart. He cannot forget you. Yeah, the question is very often, does he love me? Does he love me? And the answer is very often, yes, of course he does. But that's not so easy, right? Yeah, he loves you at the core, but then at times he might not realize that. He might not be interested in you whatsoever. He cannot even see you, because you are like also kind of covered by your shadow. Your essence, you cannot feel your essence in that clarity when he's not with you. When you are meeting, then of course you feel the essence of the other person. But when you don't see each other and you have enough distractions around, right, then you can like create this distance. Not forever. But for a certain time, it'll work, right? That's what you experience in those separation phases. And for your divine counterpart, there are a lot of distractions, right? And he will like try his best to keep himself busy. And very often there are also other people in his life who are keeping him busy, right? He might, for example, be with a karmic partner who is keeping him busy, yeah, keeping him running around all day and fulfilling all kinds of needs that are not his own needs, right? And same for you, right? You might be also like running around all day fulfilling other people's needs. So very often when there is something that we very often always actually when we feel that something is off with our twin flame, we say, why is he not paying attention to his own needs? Why is he always like fulfilling everyone else's needs? Then usually that is something that we can turn around and tell ourselves, why am I not fulfilling my own needs, right? And that's where the work begins. That's where it all starts. It's always only about you. Yeah, that's taking your power back, because you cannot change what he chooses to do. But really, that's true and not true, right? Both, because you are one. You are like one system. You share a higher consciousness. So that's why it's at this level there is always this unconditional love, right? It's always present, but it might not always be present in the 3D. You might not see your twin flame. Why? Because you maybe carry a wound of abandonment. And so your twin flame is mirroring this. He is your direct mirror. And so unless you resolve that wound, he cannot mirror anything else to you, even if he maybe wants to. So that's also something that is equally painful on both sides. Same for you. When time goes by, you will see that sometimes you are kind of forced to behave in a certain way or to say certain ways, certain things that where you are mirroring your twin flame. You do not even know why. Why are you reacting in that way? Or why all of a sudden, for example, you don't want to contact your twin flame anymore. You just there are certain rhythms to this whole process, and the secret behind it is really that you're mirroring each other. So yeah, that's how it is. And of course, on that level, the love is always there, but he might not be aware of that love, and he might feel something entirely different, and he might not feel that he's even deserving that love. And so are you, by the way, right? You also have an issue with self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. Yeah, how much love can you really receive? And we are talking about true love, right? We're not talking about anything less than love, right? We're talking about true love, unconditional love. How much love do you even have the experience of receiving that, or is that entirely new? Most of the time, this is something entirely new for us, right? We know that this is there because that's who we are at the core, right? We are unconditional love, like everything in the universe. So we deeply know about unconditional love, but we might not have experienced it in this lifetime. So when it comes around, then we recognize it, right? And we want to hold on to this. And so does your twin flame, but it somehow seems too good to be true, right? And even more than that, it seems maybe dangerous. As I said, it endangers everything that is already built. Everything would crumble. And so this is like the unknown. Your twin flame doesn't want to look there, and you don't want to look there either. So both of you, right? So it's kind of funny and not funny, right? Because how do you turn around and reconcile this and come into union? And that this is why the only way to do it is to heal the blocks, right? To clear everything less than love, and to really come into this vibration, to align with that union, and to be skillful in doing so, because it's not something that you accomplish once and then it lasts forever, because we are like, yeah, life is not designed in that way. Life is like flowing, and life is throwing all kinds of things at us in order to make us grow. Yeah. And so it'll never really end. So our growth, our expansion never really ends. But those blocks, they can be resolved, and we can become skillful at dealing with life, and skillful at maintaining our vibration, and skillful at aligning with our divine union and maintaining that union, right? And both twins need to have those tools, need to have those skills. And you will notice that when you start to do the inner work, your twin flame will do the same. He will also find a way, maybe not exactly the same way, but he will also like turn towards his shadow and deal with that. And he would maybe even have an idea about your connection, and that this is something very special. He might not talk about it though, right? Because this is the idea that I have around this, that the divine masculine normally is someone very sensitive, and someone who does not want to hurt other people, and the least he wants to hurt you, right? That's something that he really tries to avoid at all costs. So he would not want to give you the illusion of him like wanting to connect to you or wanting to be with you when this is not the case. Yeah. So that's why he would prefer to pull away, um, and not, and in this way, like leave you alone, and always also believing that you are better off without him, right? He wants you to maintain your peace. He wants you to have a beautiful life, and he believes that this is all better without him. Yeah. And there are also other reasons, of course, because he also deeply cares about the people in his life. Yeah. So he's not. Yeah, he's a very caring person, right? Yeah. So I hope this brought some clarity. Of course, I cannot talk about everything. The questions, I can feel that. The more I talk, the more questions come up. I will certainly not stop talking about the twin flame journey, so don't worry, just stay tuned for the next video, and then grab a cup of tea, a coffee, or a glass of water, whatever you choose to drink, and we will just dive into the subject, and make sure that you get it right, and make sure that you get started with the inner work better sooner than later. So yeah, let me know what your needs are. Let me know if you want me to host another free webinar, maybe, and yeah, that would maybe be a good idea. I think about that. But for now, I just wish you a beautiful day, everyone, and I see you in the next video sometime soon. Bye for now.